Today's guest, I have been trying to get on the show for over 2 years. So believe me when I say I am ridiculously excited to have the incredible Ton Jansen on the show today with the lovely Roger Savage, who has been on the show a couple of other times to talk about Ton's work. I have to say that human chemistry or homeopathic detox therapy has revolutionized my clinic. I would not get a fraction of the results I do in practice if I did not use this incredible technique. I'm so grateful for Ton's work, and I encourage you, any of the homeopaths, if you haven't already, go to tonjansenhomeopathy.com and go and check out his courses. It's also very exciting to note that very soon they will be introducing practitioner training to train people up to be able to teach Ton Jansen's work. There are some homeopathic detox therapy courses out there at the moment presented by other practitioners, but they are not authorized by Ton. But this is something that will be a possibility in the future. So do make sure that you subscribe to their newsletter at tonjansenhomeopathy.com so you can keep up to date. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to the Homeopathy Hangout, where we discuss all things homeopathy from around the world. And now my mum and your host, Eugenie Kruger.
Hello, homies, and a very warm welcome to Homeopathy Hangout. Today, we have third-time return guest, the lovely Roger Savage. Hello, Roger.
Hello, Eugenie.
And the much anticipated, who I've been trying to get on the show for over 2 years, the one and only Ton Jansen. Welcome, Ton.
I know another homeopath with the same name, but...
There's only one Ton Jansen. It's lovely to have you both on here today. Now, Ton, we all know you for your incredible work with homeopathic detox therapy and human chemistry. And we've had Roger on twice now to talk about your work because he is your right-hand man. But I would love to hear it from the horse's mouth. How were you first introduced to homeopathy? And then lead us into how you came to evolve homeopathic detox therapy or human chemistry. People will know it by two different names, but maybe you can tell us also the evolution of that. So I'll leave the floor to you, Ton.
Okay, thank you. Maybe I need to tell something about my history. I come from a family, my mother has 10 children. I have 7 brothers and 1 sister, so the middle of it. And so I grew up, and my father was he was a grower, greenhouse keeper, and he produce seeds of tomatoes, bell peppers, and so I grew up in a garden. I was very attracted to plants, and so even I start to first with a florist diploma, and I work in a big company for 5 years, and I make this company very big and very beautiful, and lots of customers were there. And then on one moment, my father dies. I was the only one who knows everything about greenhouse keeping. So I take this company and I start this company. And within a few years later, the company was sold to the auction of the flower. And then I decide, okay, I like this job. So I start my own company with greenhouses, and we get children, and the second child after the MMR vaccination get a meningitis directly after the MMR. So she was hospitalized because she was incontinent. And I was treated by a homeopath because of my epilepsy was very severe, more than 3 times in a week, a grand mal, so terrible. I got lots of medications and things. And when I was 16, my mother says, now we go to a homeopath. And this homeopath helps me to cure from epilepsy. And when I was in the hospital with my child, incontinence, in coma, and the doctor says, after 3 days, the brain is so damaged, it will never be okay. We need to let her sleep. And I said, no way. I take it out of the bed, go to the homeopath. And there was a patient in the homeopath, but the patient says, this is more important. So we had a talk. He gives the remedy, Dioscharea valosa. And within 3 hours, she wakes up. And with 3 days, she was playing And now she is a healthy woman of 39 years, no, 42 years. And then I thought, I need to become a homeopath. So I go to school, and within 2 years, one of the teachers says, you need to start your practice because you are so involved. So I start my practice. And in 1993, I thought, the results are amazing, but I'm not satisfied because people come back. And then I thought, there needs something, what I'm missing. And I start to read the organon. And the third time I read the organon again, I thought we need to cure the obstacles before you can help the patients. And then I thought, yes, there are so much obstacles. If you look back in Hahnemann's time, there was not so much allopathic intervention. They use only arsenicum, they use mercury slowly on, and that, or there was plant poisoning and things. And Hahnemann he was not really the finder. Hippocrates was the finder of homeopathy. But he found out when you don't cure the obstacles, then you can't heal a patient. By the way, the patient heals himself. He gets only my attention and the right remedy. That's what we need to do. And in the beginning of 2000, I start to teach, and I write a book about plants, Find Your Way in the Forest of Symptoms. First, I write it in Dutch, and later on, we make the tree book and the plant book in one as Finding Your Way in the Forest of Symptoms. Because it is a forest. You need to dig to find all the actual and necessary symptoms. And still, I'm a classic homeopath because I do exactly what Hahnemann says.
Amazing. What a story, Ton. I had never heard that about your daughter, that it's nothing like a powerful testimony like that to really make you see the incredible power of homeopathy. Wow. How did you discover, or how did you get onto the detoxes? Because I think you and Tina Smits were contemporaries, right? Is that how you
I
came
was
upon?
started in 1993 with homeopathic detox, and Tina Smith starts 1995, and I met him in the beginning of 2000, and we become friends, and we did a lot of things together. Even the seminar we did together. No, the first seminar, he said on his, how you say it, on his dying bed,
On his
On his
deathbed.
deathbed.
on the deathbed, please, Ton, will you give my teaching? Because we have a seminar and I can't do it anymore. And you're the only one who understand what I'm doing. And I understand you. So please start. So they say that I have taken it from him, but it isn't like this. We did a lot together. And in a way, I was the founder.
Oh, that's
But it doesn't
interesting.
matter who.
It doesn't
It goes
exactly.
about that. So it was a very close friend of me. We spoke each other every week. Wherever he was on the world, I speak with him every week.
When you have a homeopathic friend like that, it is just a next level friendship. I've got a few incredible homeopathic friends now who we just always have so much to talk about. It's such a deep friendship. Hey, I just have to say, Tinnis's book lives on my desk along with your book. I use it all the time. There's nobody.
They don't fight together.
No, they really love each other, these two. Can I ask you a question as well? Because when I first heard about your work, it was probably around, I feel like it was like early 2019, because I'm trying to think of the house that I was living in at the time. So maybe 2018, 2019. And we were talking about homeopathic detox therapy. But these days you're using the term human chemistry a bit more. Can you just say a little bit more? Like, is there a particular term that you prefer and why the change?
Maybe that was a mistake because they don't understand human chemistry. But in a way, I want to know very deeply what is happening in our body with neurotransmitters, with enzymes, with the digestion, with the muscles, where they exist from, what kind of vitamins, what kind of minerals, what is necessary, what is the problem. I want to dig that I can find the problem in the area the disease is started.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
And Tom, you need to say that we realize the work isn't just a question of detoxing. We now
Mm.
call it balancing.
we
It's
bring
removal
hormones
of
in
toxins.
balance. We bring
Mm.
neurotransmitters in balance with the use of organs and neurotransmitters. So even addiction, we can heal more easily
Mm.
if we understand what is happening in the system.
Absolutely. I have just had a personal experience the last couple of weeks with the remedy dopamine. It has made
Mhm.
such a big difference in my life. And I've just realized that we've had 17 years of Facebook. Oh, well, probably longer than that. I've been on Facebook since 2007. So that's 17 years of a dopamine fix, however many days, however many times a day that dopamine getting released. And I'm like, no wonder I'm depleted in dopamine. And the remedy has been amazing for me. I've really enjoyed it. What was your first detox that you used, Ton? Do you remember? Like your
The
first
first
detox
I
series?
tested by myself, and
Mm.
that was the DTP.
Ah,
I was not able to speak in an audience. I was very shy, and I did the course DTP. I did 4 weeks, one granula of the DTP 30, and then I thought, okay, then I do 200. And I did it with a few colleagues homeopaths. Ries and Jan did also work with me. And then the first, I mentioned nothing. Everything was the same. And then the second 200, I get a bit changed, a bit, but not so much. And then with the 1M, they asked me for, how you say this, kritisch spreken, Roger?
like a
Like a
keynote speaker?
A keynote speaker. Keynote
no,
speaker.
no, about the vaccination organization, the anti-vaccination, or be aware what vaccinations do. They are
Oh,
not
I see. Yes.
me, but that group asked me to speak for an audience, and they
Mm.
say like 60 people, and I didn't know, but the one, and then I was already, that was with 1M, and I said, okay, I will, but I don't know if I'm able. You need to be able, you know everything about this subject, so you can do it. So with the 10M, 3 weeks later, I did this webinar, and 60 people was 600 people in a very big hall. And what I did for the microphone was, okay, I have something to tell what they don't know. So what can happen? From that moment, I was free.
Wow. I will,
Then you
but
can imagine what the DTP or the KTP or MMR do with the brain of children.
I will tell you the first time that I did an MMR vaccine detox in probably 2019, a parent came back and she told me her child is more affectionate since we've done the MMR detox. And I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh, that's interesting. And time again, after the MMR vaccine detox, parents came and told me their children were more affectionate. And this is why I love being a clinician. I've done over 6,000 consultations. And you start seeing patterns and you start seeing things that you can't learn from book learning. If you have a busy practice, this is the type of stuff. Sometimes it's weird and wacky, but when people come and tell you unprompted over and over the same thing, you have to listen. So it frightens me that there is something that you inject into a child's body that makes them less affectionate. And we know that because we give them the remedy made from the substance, and suddenly this child that was never seeking affection is coming to their parents for a hug.
I have treated a person from 18 years of age, always in his room upstairs, never down, only for eating and drinking a cup of tea, but the rest things always upstairs. He comes from school upstairs, and I give him a course, DTP, MMR, and polio vaccination. After 6 weeks, the mother was flabbergasted. He came down for a talk. He came, and on the end, he wanted to do a game. He wanted to sit with others, to be in conversation with others. He never did, only with this.
Amazing. I have to ask you something though, Ton. I know that you often use the poly childhood vaccine detox. Do you find it as effective as if you do the single ones? Because I tend to do the MMR and sometimes MMRV because we have the varicella here as well. I'll do the MMRV by itself. And then we have infant Prevenar, and rotavirus at 2, 4, and 6 months in Australia. So I tend to do the Prevnar rotavirus and Influenza hexa by itself as a detox. And then I tend to do MMR by itself as a detox. And then I tend to do meningitis by itself as a detox, because I like to know which ones people have strong reactions to, so that I know where the disharmony was created. But do you find the poly-childhood, which has just got everything in there, just as effective?
Just as affected as, and very rarely, or you can even say no, aggravations, only ameliorations.
Wow.
In the start, I did always single vaccinations, and then I find out where it goes about. The most dangerous substance is not the disease, no, it's the aluminium, the saponins, the adjuvants in the vaccine. Sometimes we have a beautiful result, but not what I want. And then I do a course of aluminium hydroxide, because that's cover all the aluminium different bindings. So you get rid of this aluminium out of your system. And then formaldehyde, that's so dangerous. So 2 courses in Monday, Thursday, aluminium, and Tuesday, Friday, that's an example, and remarkable change. But not when I start with this, only when there is not enough progress after, but there is progress, but not enough, then I do this. Together, an example, BDNF.
Brain-derived neurotropic factors, just for our listeners.
In the new book, there it is.
Yeah, I have used that one. Oh, that's interesting. I used to use the polymetals detox quite a bit, but for the past year, I have started using OligoScan. I'm pretty sure you have it in Holland as well, because it originates from France. But I've really started enjoying that. So I'll do an OligoScan and I'll see which of the metals are high, and I will do like a chelate, which is like a homochord 12C30 201M of that particular metal, and just doing that and then retesting it in 4 months.
Yes, but you don't start with it.
No, I don't start with it. No.
If you start with the first treatment with polymetals, heavy metals, that is a disaster. In my experience, the most important metals is amalgam.
Amalgam rather than just mercury by itself. Yeah, okay.
So amalgam is, I see a lot of rheumatic arthritic cases with beautiful results.
Amazing.
Even I have seen MS patients recover after.
These days also, I don't do any of the metal detoxes until I've done an OligoScan, and I make sure somebody's zinc and iodine status is really good, because I found that they get more aggravations then as well. So that's why I love the OligoScan, because I can just check if their zinc and their iodine and their selenium is very low. I don't do any of the detoxes, because then they have bigger aggravations as well. So I make sure their nutritional status is up, because once you chelate those metals, it really pulls on the zinc and the iodine. I found that really helpful too.
Then it is very important to start with zinc, 15 or 30 milligrams in the morning, and then selenium in the evening.
Oh, okay. Is there a reason
for that?
Not together. Okay. You mean to split them up? Okay.
When you give them together on one time, the selenium binds on the zinc and you pee it out.
Oh, see, this is the thing that I need to learn a little bit more about. It's just like the nutritional stuff. And that's why I prefer homeopathy, because you can't you can't stuff things up too much. I feel like with nutritional stuff, you really need to know what you're doing. But then also they keep on changing their minds about which thing combines with. Sometimes I find the nutritional stuff a little bit hard.
And if we start with book 3, you have it already?
I haven't. I've got the fighting. I haven't got book 3. No, when did that one come out?
There is inside, if you open it, about vitamins, how they work together, what is necessary to absorb vitamin D. It's not only the sun. It's not only the supplement. There is more. You need to have a healthy level of cholesterol.
Yes, because I have seen clients who don't have a gallbladder and their vitamin D is almost not registering on the OligoScan. And I was wondering what the correlation was. When I was listening to another podcast, they were saying that your gallbladder is really important for vitamin D. And I didn't understand that. And then I started seeing these clients without gallbladders doing an OligoScan, and their vitamin D is non-existent.
Yeah.
Interesting. So then people on statins and things like that.
We need to know more as a homeopath about the sulfuration pathway and the phosphorylation pathway. That's so necessary to understand what is this for process. And that goes about fat and water-soluble vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, that's the thing that sometimes this is the place where I'm at the moment. I've been practicing for what, 13 years. And when I started out, I was like, yeah, homeopathy can fix everything. But now that with something like the Lego scan, when you're understanding I'm not trying to make this into a Lego scan podcast, by the way. I'm just saying that often I didn't understand what a client's maintaining cause was, or that there's nutritional things that need to be fixed before I can address things with a homeopathic remedy. And I don't think that as practitioners, we get taught that enough in the homeopathic schools. We think the remedies can do everything, but really sometimes their nutritional status and really knowing about all these pathways is it's really important. But I think if we learned all that in college, we'd all give up because it would just be too hard and overwhelming. How did you learn about this nutritional aspect? Is that something you learned in college, or did you pick it up along the way?
I'm also learning nutrition
Okay.
and chiropractic. I more than only this, and lifestyle. It's also interesting. And I think it is, and I combine this all when I teach, when we treat live patients. We can do an amazing job.
And are there
And in
any,
this book, in this
sorry.
last book 3, I have materia medica about vitamins and minerals. We test them. We did provings with a few colleagues around me, and we did also in seminars provings, and it was amazing what we can do with it.
Can you get somebody's say his vitamin D level up with just a homeopathic remedy?
We can get it up when there is a low, an example, when there is a low D3, then of course, I advise 300 EU vitamin D together with K2, because K2 is necessary for absorption, but also fat, healthy fat. You can help to get more of it with vitamin E. But everything is in the book.
Amazing.
But when you do this when there is, I see a lot of children who have only a level of 6 EU in 1 liter. So that means that's too low. In my point of view, it needs to be 100. From the health organization, they say it needs to be above 50, but that's too low. The risk that you get an autoimmune disease more easily when it is lower than 75 is very high. So you need to bring it up. And if you do it only with vitamin, with suppletion, then it takes more than a year to raise it to a healthy level. But when you do it together with a course of vitamin D, you can manage it in 16 weeks.
So you would do it.
Because you make your body susceptible to uptake this vitamin D.
So usually that is supplement and remedy course.
Okay.
The two working together will really make it work better and faster.
Yeah.
Amazing. Is there anything that you would be a little bit nervous detoxing? Actually, this question comes from Sarah Scott, who's one of the homeopaths on my team, and she's done most of your courses. She said, ask him that. Is there anything that you would be nervous detoxing?
The only thing, I'm not nervous, but don't do after the first consultation amalgam.
Okay.
Because that can give heavy reactions. First, you need to calm down the hormones and the wrong information from the vaccines. And nowadays, we need to deal with all kinds of biologicals, like all the MAPs, the ZEPs, the NIPs. It's really crazy.
Yeah. Do you think all these genetic SNPs and things have always been there and they're just now expressing themselves because of the epigenetics, or what on earth is going on?
We had a few like Embrel, what they use with reuma and juvenile rheumatoide. Now we have every month a new MAP, ZIP or ZEP or MIP, a new biological. It is really, and even they give them very easy. It's the protocol of the pharmacy.
What do you do with detoxing in pregnancy? I think that you are saying most things are fine after the first trimester from memory. Or what's your thoughts around detoxing in pregnancy?
There is no need to do contraceptives in the pregnancy. Why you should? But when a woman becomes pregnant, because she come to me and it wasn't possible, and then she start with a course of 16 weeks of contraceptives together with SHBG or DHEH, and that depends on what hormone is linking it on. And she becomes pregnant 4 weeks during this treatment. you can go on, no problem.
Okay.
It's directly healthy for the child as well.
Yeah, I don't do contraceptive detox with children often enough. I think it's something I need to do more often because we have all these xenoestrogens in our environment. And yeah, I think I should just like blanket do a contraceptive detox for all the children in my clinic because we all get those hormones handed down. And we see all this early development, like precocious puberty in children these days. So I think at least some of that can be contributed to lots of BPA and plastics in our environment, but also the contraceptive pill use that 99% of women on the planet have used.
I use it with boys who get breast when they are 12 years old, or they have no hair,
Mm,
or very thin,
mm,
not much. They are not really become a man. Then I give contraceptives, but mostly I test with the blood test how are the hormones, and mostly you see with boys they have a low testosterone, and with women they have a low estrogen.
mm,
So then I give estrogen together with DHEA,
mm-hmm,
and the estrogen will rise, and the early menses stops, and then later on they get a healthy menses
mm.
years later.
Amazing. I recently did a contraceptive detox with a client who has not had a period for 6 months. She's about 52 and did the contraceptive detox and her periods come back and she's not
Yeah.
happy with me. But I was telling her when you have your period, obviously when you're ovulating, you're producing progesterone and it protects you against cancers and it's good for your bone health and your mental health and everything else. But yeah, she was not impressed with me at all.
Oh, you are
Yeah, we
very
have.
involved. And she finished already the
Yeah,
course?
I think she's finished it now. Yeah.
Sometimes when this happens, you wait a month and you repeat the course again.
Okay.
And then it stops naturally without heat flushes, without problems.
Amazing. Quick question. Do you ever use water bottle remedies? Because I was just thinking BDNF in a like low potency. I have sometimes prescribed like 2 pills in a water bottle for clients and to give them a good shake and then get the child to drink it when they're at school. Do you use much water bottle remedies or you're not a big fan of that?
Sometimes I do it with dopamine.
Okay. Would you just do it with lower potencies like a 6C or a 12C or would you do higher potencies as
Then
well?
I go from 12.
Okay, yeah, that would be
Yeah.
awesome. Amazing.
And when it is one a day in the morning with an autistic child who
Mm.
has a lack on dopamine because of eating too much sugar, craving sweets, then I give a course of exorphine to
Which one?
bring exorphine, because in bread and in sugar there is a lot of exorphine.
So,
Okay.
Eugenie, the remedy is endorphins with exorphins.
Okay. I have not heard of that one. Amazing.
Together with BCG.
BCG vaccine or just
No,
the BCG nosode?
GHB.
Oh,
GHB.
GHB. Gotcha. GHB.
GHB.
Yeah. Yeah.
GHB.
Yeah.
That's for addiction.
It's funny. I've used GHB a few times, but I just found dopamine to be a little bit more effective. But it's funny,
Mm.
you know, how us homeopaths, we all have our set of remedies, but that we really like. But I think we all have a different subset of clients. And so some remedies tend to work better for us than for a different homeopath because they have a different subset of clients. But maybe I just need to give GHB a little bit more of a go. I used to use it quite a bit in the 6x potency, but dopamine's my new favorite.
I believe that you attract your own patients,
Yeah, 100%.
and that's not wrong. I think it's a good thing. But
It's a
don't say, I stopped to study. If you become a homeopath, you never stop. Don't be lazy.
Yeah.
That's very necessary, that to be involved in your own process, what is going together with the patient who come to you. Nowadays, I get only very difficult patients.
Yeah, I've
And
definitely
when I
found
find
that.
a new remedy, I think we are already in connection, but then they know that I know this new remedy and they come.
Absolutely. It's like
There
the
is there
craziest
is
thing.
there is more than what we see.
It's a resonance field, Jeannie, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
really is. And sometimes I won't see a client won't come back for about 2 or 3 years. Then they'll come back And then I'll relook at their case and I realize that I've learned something really important that I didn't know when I saw them previously, but now I have this new knowledge and now I can help them. And I say that to them, it's okay, because they'll say, I'm sorry I haven't been back. I'm saying, that's okay. There's something that I had to learn that I didn't know at that time. And now I know it. Now I can help you better. So it's the most incredible synchronicity. It's so beautiful.
Nearly every month there is something new. The Hahnemann said, Apotheke says, you never stop.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it goes about the results.
It really does. I'm loving all your work with the neurotransmitters because I really think that's something that's very important. One of my things that I'm really trying to get my head around and become an expert in is CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome, and mold illness, and MARCoNS, which I've just recently started learning a bit more about, which is this antibiotic resistant staph that is in the sinus passages. And then I was reading that it actually reduces your MSH. Now, I know that's melanocyte stimulating hormone, which is to do with the pigment in your skin. And I couldn't understand why would it do that? But I didn't realize that MSH also has this huge role in your immune system. And so this MARCoNS bacteria, this type of staph, reduces your MSH, which reduces your immunity. And so I was thinking, okay, where is this created? It's created in the pituitary gland. So I'm going to try and create this combination remedy with pituitary gland and MSH and the MARCoNS nosode if I can find it, or otherwise perhaps a polystaph that I'm going to use. So it's fascinating doing this type of work. And I feel like you've opened up all these possibilities for us homeopaths. It just feels so limitless about what we can do. And it's amazing. Like I only treat women and children, and none of them walk away here. None of the women walk away without an endocrine sarcode of some sort. And it's just so brilliant that we have all of these tools at our disposal.
Despite that some homeopaths makes, how you call it, with a machine.
Oh, the
remedy,
radionics.
They do something, they help, but not in the longer term.
Do you use them?
No. I have done it, and you see some results, especially when in acute situation when there is no other possibility, then it is okay, but later on you need to do it in real potentized form.
And you use a lot of LMs as well, right? Like how do you use them in all your cases or just in some cases? And do you?
No, I very rarely.
Okay.
Only sometimes with Lycopodium or with Berberis, with Hiscum album. But mostly I give 99.9% I give C or K potencies.
Now, there's something else that I want to have a chat with you about, shifting gears here a little bit. There's quite a few courses that I'm seeing pop up everywhere of people teaching your work. Have you actually trained up practitioners to be registered in teaching your work, or where are all these courses coming from and what's going on?
We're going to teach, in the common year, a new college for teaching.
Okay. So people can get trained in teaching your method.
Yeah.
But it's not at the moment.
We haven't done it yet. So they've set
First, they need to
up.
be involved in their practice to understand what I'm doing. They must have experience. But I think it is not a good way to do it. And then it gets his own way. And they said, Ton Jansen said this, but it's wrong. I said, I think it is not a good way.
There was a homeopath once who quoted a saying, imitation has limitation. What we don't want people doing is reducing this work to a set of formulae that they could almost print out on a sheet. This is what you do. It's this, it's like that. Because when Ton is teaching, I get him to emphasize this is only an example. We have to see what is really happening in each individual case, just as Hahnemann said. There is a danger that these folks are doing it. And the person we were talking to just before said she often has to rescue cases treated by people who don't know much and don't realize they don't know much. And they're not doing it in a way that works. And the patients either get no result or do get severe upsets and then come to be rescued. So yes, Ton, we've been saying we will set this up and train people to make sure they really know the system and how to teach so that others will understand and be able to get good results.
Yeah, I
And
wondered about
we
that
are,
because I keep seeing
we are,
these homeopathic detox therapy courses coming up that's presented by different practitioners. And I always wondered, did they ask your permission? Do they pay you a
No,
commission to teach your work? Like, how
nothing.
does
no,
really?
no.
Oh, do you know, we have a weird thing, and this is why I'm a projector, which in human design apparently means that I'm really good at seeing stuff that's going on and then projecting it up for people to like saying, hey guys, this is what's happening. Maybe we should try a new way. And I see this everywhere. I've seen it with people teaching Liz Laylor's work and profiting from that, from
Mm.
Isaac Golden's work. I will put my hand up. So I have a homeopathic immunization course, but I emailed Isaac before I did it. And I said to him, hey, Isaac, I'm thinking of doing a course based on your work. Are you okay with that? And he said, that's totally fine. So I have his like blessing to do that. And I teach that in my community. People teaching the Banerjee protocols. And I've had Isha Banerjee on the course, and she said the Banerjee clinic gets no payment from, at least they haven't been asked, they get no payment from that. There's lots of this type of stuff of homeopaths who have created like protocols and things, and then other people teaching their work. And integrity is one of my highest, what's it, values, and honesty. And so I never quite understand when people do that. Like, why have you had people like reach out and ask you if they can do it at least?
No.
Really? No, not.
No.
So we were very grateful when you wrote to me and asked this question, because today gives us a chance to say, please get and study the books. Please join our training so that you really understand. And then Ton had said what we'd like to do is to advertise all those courses via his new, improved and easier to use website.
It
So
looks
that,
awesome. Back in the day when we had to email you, Roger, and then pay into a bank account, and then you get a link to this. And
yes,
now these days there's this flashy website that makes it really
yes.
easy to register. So bravo to you guys for doing that work.
And
It
it's
looks
been even
great.
further enhanced so that it's easier.
It is. It looks
Yeah.
great. You've done a great job.
And if people ask me, then I would be happy to know them and to guide them, because together we make a better world. I'm a manifester in human design.
Okay.
And you're a
I'm
projector.
completely new to all of this, but I only know about my one and only a little bit. So I'm still learning, but I think it's really valuable. It's really valuable to know these things. I couldn't understand, why can't I keep my mouth shut? Why do I always want to tell people about, hey, this is a better way to do that. Have you thought about this? Hey, maybe you should try that. And now I can blame it all on my human design. It's brilliant.
And I don't know
So it is
mine.
your human design.
It's
Yeah.
all
Not
my
you.
human design. Oh yeah, let's blame it on.
Yeah.
It's all due to the day and the time I was born. Just blame it on that.
Yes.
But if you understand that it is your human design, you can reform it in yourself and be more calm, more wakeful. You create space because you understand.
It's been really helpful for me because I've actually been in tears before with other homeopaths saying to them, why can I not keep quiet about this thing that I'm seeing that's happening in the homeopathic world? I wish I could keep my mouth shut because I make life so hard for myself by speaking up. I wish I could just stay quiet. Something that I'm also doing at the moment is that I see so many homeopaths doing so much work creating new remedies, like Andreas Tilch and Denitza Appelai and Paul Terrio and all these people, and they create a remedy and they give it to the pharmacies, and the pharmacies make money from it. And so what I've started doing is creating royalty remedies. So these homeopaths give me their remedies. I list it on my website, and 10% of all the sales go directly to the people who created the remedies. And I feel that there's lots of this type of stuff that we're doing in the community. One like making money off your work, or Isaac Golden, or Liz Layla, or all of these people that have pioneered all this incredible work. It just feels so wrong. And I really hope that as a profession, we can look at ourselves and go, maybe there's a better way. Maybe just reach out to the person that created that and just say, hey, is it okay? You know, I emailed Isaac and it wasn't a problem at all. And there was that energy exchange because I've had him on the podcast a few times and they've benefited in it that way. So we can do things together. It's not like we are stronger together and working synergistically and coming up with new ideas together. We don't have to be grabby and take things from somebody else. And how can I make money from this person's work? It's so unnecessary.
Then we are the same as the pharmacy. And we are not the pharmacy. We are really healers. If you are not a really healer, you can go your own way. And of course, you need to do it your own way, but with the proved knowledge.
I sleep really well at night because I'm a big believer in karma. I think karma has a way of coming around and sorting things out if you do anything dishonestly or not, like with the highest intent. And we have to also consider that sometimes people just don't think about things in that way. So there are people who might have just not thought about, hey, maybe I should reach out to Ton and maybe just ask him. I think most homeopaths, most people, I like to think, come from a good place. Like they don't intentionally go to cause harm. I think just sometimes we do things maybe without thinking. And hopefully this conversation will bring up a conversation in the community about how can we better ensure that we are acknowledging the people whose work we're financially benefiting from.
Well, you have such a wonderful reach round the world. You're so well known now with these podcasts, and we're very happy to be on with you. And as you say, hoping this will bring a change in this so that people will contact us. And as Ton said, we can advertise these things on his website so people know. It will be guided teaching.
We have a great saying in Afrikaans, Ton, you might understand it. It goes, vra is vry en weier daarbij. It means asking is free and so is declining. So, just ask the question. If you're doubting about whether this is something good to do or not, just reach out to the person, just ask them. And the worst they can do is say no.
Asking is always free.
Yeah. And your second one was declining is free?
Yeah, asking is free and so is declining. So somebody can ask, it's free to ask and it's free for the other person to say no.
But also free to say yes, gladly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just sounds better in Afrikaans. How would you say it in Dutch? How would you say that one in Dutch?
Vragen kan altijd. Het antwoord kan ook schuldig blijven.
I think it sounds better in Dutch. So, Ton and Roger, are there any final messages that you want to leave our listeners with? I've got so many things I can ask and so many more conversations that we can have, but I'm conscious of the fact that you've already had another recording before this one today. I'm sure you're probably ready to have a bit of a rest. But any final messages that you want to leave our listeners with? The website is tonjansenhomeopathy.com. Are you on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else that you think people should follow you? Or
just going to get our IT advisor to liaise with the person we've just been talking to create a Ton Jansen Homeopathy Instagram.
Ooh.
Ton and I joke, this is outside our comfort zone, but for those that can, that person we've been talking to said she has 27,000 followers. If we reached only a portion of those, this would be fantastic. And people must advise us how best to do the spreading because it's not our skill. And anything that will get this more known, and as we've said, people to understand it deeply and be able to work it well. Because what does happen, Ton says it, and many of us can prove it, we draw many more patients and, of course, more complex cases because it gets known. We have a sense we can do something. They hear that we can. And so it becomes a positive spiral.
Mm.
And I heard from homeopaths who did the teaching from somewhere else, and they have not a bigger number of patients. And the patients, or the homeopaths who learn it from of my school and out of my books and things, they have big numbers. They have very healthy practice with lots of patients and lots of successes. It goes only about the success.
My clinic exploded when I started doing homeopathic detox therapy or human chemistry. And I'll always credit, there's three things that I credit. One is HGT, Detox Therapy Human Chemistry. Second one is Hilary Dorian's bowel nosodes lecture on CHE and Hilary Dorian's endocrine lecture, endocrine sarcodes on CHE. Those three things I have built a really successful business on, and now I've tracked over 6,000 consultations. So that's my top tip for any homeopaths listening.
Mention the name Ton Jansen.
Oh, that's smart. Do you know what? Maybe you have a branding issue here. Maybe because like Liz at least called it Liz Laylaw Fertility Protocol and Isaac Golden's Homeoprophylaxis, and there's the Banerjee Protocol. So maybe you should have stuck your name into the protocol.
Well,
from like a marketing point of view.
Yeah, this is
but
why.
Protocol is something what is in
like
very solid construction.
Yeah.
And I don't, it is more.
Maybe we should call it like the TJ method or the Ton Jansen method or like
Ton
something
Jansen
like
homeopathy.
that.
You see, it's Ton Jansen homeopathy.
Okay.
That is now
it
the
is
name on the site.
Oh,
it is
okay. But then
it is a
when you're talking about homeopathic detox therapy or human chemistry, I think you need to talk to a branding person or marketing person that you change that name so that people from now on call it Ton Jansen's method or something like that.
method.
Yeah, the Ton Jansen method, because then people know, because then you have your name attached to it.
Yes, interesting thought. You see, we had to put in Ton's name or the wording we did because there are different meanings to human chemistry. There are some orthodox companies who talk about human chemistry.
Mm.
That's why we called the site Ton Jansen Homeopathy. But interesting thought.
Maybe we have a marketing expert listening to this podcast and hopefully they reach out to you and they might have some ideas.
Mm.
But this really is a legacy. You're a living legend, Ton, that you get to see your legacy being used in front of your eyes and transforming practices and people and lives around the world. So thank you very much for that. I would like to clap hands, but this microphone's really good, so it usually doesn't pick it up. Can you hear this?
No.
Only
You can't
just.
hear it? Oh, it's a really good mic. It cuts out all the background noise. So but that was me
Can you hear
applauding to you.
my clapping?
I can hear yours, yeah. Maybe we'll do
Maybe
it. We can do it the ASL way. So we can do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
No, but Eugenie, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
It's such a pleasure. Any excuse to hang out with fellow homies.
Thank you.
the most important thing for my teaching is that you get a better insight from what is happening
In the bigger
inside
plan.
the physical body and mental body of the patient. If you understand what happens there, then you can solve every case.
100%. You make it sound so easy.
Don't make it difficult, I always say.
It's true.
My word from heart is sharing is multiplying.
Mm.
Yeah. Sharing is synergistic. 1 + 1 is 5.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ton.
Oh,
I look forward to your Instagram account coming up so we can share it all over the world. I only have 8,500 followers, but there are some homeopaths out there who have over 100,000 followers on Instagram and are doing really good. So we'll have to reach out to them and make sure that they promote your work
Definitely.
on
Yes.
socials as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, gentlemen. It was lovely to hang out with you.
Our pleasure.
it was
Thank you.
also a pleasure to talk with you and all the
Thank you.
people behind you because
Yeah.
they're going to see this.
Yeah. Thank you.
May bless you all.
Pleasure.